When me and my buddies head off to West Texas, nothing works like my Chevy S10 Maxi Cab 4x4. With Instatrack 4-wheel drive, the optional off-road suspension, it can take us to the wildest place in the West. The Terlingua Chili Cook-Off. Come and get it! Good, huh? Yeah. Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing.
Benjamin Weir on his hostage ordeal at 10.
Tonight, from the raisin capital of the world, the epic story of two feuding Fresno families begins. Tyler Kane and Charlotte Kensington, locked in a desperate battle for control of an empire.
Without the Kensingtons, Fresno would be nothing.
Kane Kensington, his half-baked schemes could destroy a dynasty. But his wife, Talon, has other plans.
But I can't stand by a man who can't stand by his own brother. I can't stand it.
And Torch, if he had one, he'd give you the shirt off his back. Carol Burnett, Daphne Coleman, Charles Grodin, Terry Garr, and Gregory Harrison are all in Fresno. Next.
Where did you find these? Over there. They're good, yes? Send word to Her Majesty that God has smiled on us. Gentlemen, we have found the fruit of life. It is here where our children and our children's children will play and grow. The grape is good. It will sustain us.
Comandante! Comandante, look! Look, we have found these in the valley beyond.
Call these grape? They taste like Fresno.
Bien. Okay, muchachos, los secret races.
Está hablando de los secret.
What?
Bueno, eso es lo...
I don't have to remind you how important this run is, Juan.
I know, Mr. Kensington.
The future,
Bueno, ya
the very survival of Kensington raisins depends on you getting these safely to the patent office in Sacramento.
I know.
¿Dónde después? Okay,
Juan, the industry hasn't seen an innovation like this in 75 years. We're not just making raisins, Juan. We're making history.
I will not let you down.
I'm counting on you, Juan.
¿Cómo está, Juan?
I'm fine, Roach. And you?
Get out. Well, what have we here? This wouldn't be the Kensington secret new product, would it?
I don't know what you're talking about. They're just ordinary raisins.
Ordinary raisins, huh? With a crunchy whole wheat flavor.
Problem?
Oh, no problem.
I have a little problem.
What seems to be the trouble here, boys?
No trouble, boss. Juan here spilled all the new Kensington raisins, and me and the boys were just going to be neighborly and help him pick them up. Isn't that right, boy?
That's right.
Well, that is neighborly of you, but unfortunately, you boys got work to do.
Sorry, Juan.
I don't think we've met.
Name's Torch.
Juan. Sorry about your accident.
It was no accident, Mr. Kane. I suppose it was just a coincidence that you were driving by.
Well, actually, I was just on the way taking my little niece here to school. She always likes to get there a little early. You know how teenagers are about walking into class late. They hate to be conspicuous.
Right.
Juan, be sure and give Mrs. Kensington my condolences. Let's go.
Nice guy.
Tyler Kane is the cruelest man I have ever known.
You think he was responsible for this?
I'd bet my sister's life on it. Okay, that is an exaggeration. But I'm sure he put them up to it. He hates the Kensingtons. He'll do anything in his power to destroy us.
We can't destroy you by dumping one load of raisins.
These were no ordinary raisins, Mr. Torch. They were bran raisins.
Bran raisins?
Yes. Instead of putting raisins on the cereal in the morning, the cereal is already in the raisins.
Kind of nutty.
That is what I thought at first. But you can see for yourself, they are good. If you ask me, people will eat this stuff up.
These were all you had?
Unfortunately, but that is not your concern. You saved my life. If there is ever anything I can do...
There is.
I was going to say, don't be afraid to ask.
I've been on the road a while. I could use some work.
Surely you do not mean the Kensingtons. They cannot afford to hire anyone. They cannot even afford to give me a raise. And I have been with them many years and asked many times.
Mind if I take my chances?
Okay, but I'm telling you now, it is hopeless. What is it you do?
This and that.
Perhaps you will get hired after all.
Pass the cereal, please, Mama.
Just think, once we get that new patent, the only thing I'll ever have to pass is raisins. Who'd like toast?
Not me.
I wonder if we could do the same thing with toast that we did with the bran.
You mean put a whole slice of toast inside of a raisin?
I guess it's silly. You seem a little upset this morning, Talon. Is everything all right?
Everything's just fine, Charlotte.
You and my brother have another fight last night?
How could we? I didn't see him again last night.
Well, you know how busy Kane's been getting the new raisin ready. He's just trying to hold on to what's left of the family fortune.
Well, I'm just trying to hold on to what's left of my marriage.
Let's not bicker at breakfast. We're all trying to hold on to something. I think the thing to remember here is that we're family. Now, maybe that doesn't mean as much to the rest of you as it does to me because I'm adopted. But I feel like we're all in this together.
Oh, Charlotte, am I family?
Of course you are, Talon. Just because you're not blood doesn't mean you're not just as much part of this family as, say, Tiffany.
Morning, Mama. Kevin. Tiffany. Light of my life.
You're down late this morning?
That's because I was up early getting those raisins off to Sacramento. Not to mention going over our books. Looks like we're going to have a little cash flow problem again this month, Mama.
Does that mean we're going to have to sell off more of our cherished possessions?
Mama, I promise you, I won't sell our clothes. I was also on the phone with the cartel. Don't forget that final planning meeting for the Raisin Festival is tomorrow.
How could we forget? That's all we ever hear about around this place.
If you don't like raisins, Talon, why don't you find something else to feed off of?
Huh? Kane.
The reason that festival is so important, Talon, just so you'll understand, is because hosting its masquerade ball is about the only thing that Tyler Kane hasn't managed to take away from us. Although, once we patent bran raisins, the Kensingtons will be back where they belong, on top and looking down at everybody else.
Please. Do we always have to spend breakfast talking about who's on top of whom? It's so unpleasant.
I mean, does anybody have anything they want to bring up that wouldn't offend our dear sister?
I have something that I would like to say.
What's that, Kevin?
I have decided to become celibate to protest the killing of sperm whales. I have decided to take this action as a statement of my growing concern for the preservation and well-being of all living things.
Well, I think that's nice.
Come on, Mama, you know why he's saying that.
Why?
He's fruitier than this cocktail.
Kane.
I've had enough of this. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to see if Charma's ready for school.
That's our daughter she's looking at.
Your daughter, darling. I'm only her stepmother, remember?
What is happening to this family?
What do you mean, Mama?
Well, first it was Yancey and then the ranch, and now all of you. I just feel as if everything is slipping away from me.
Have another Bloody Mary, Mama.
to speak to Mrs. Kensington.
I'm Mrs. Kensington.
No, I mean the real Mrs. Kensington. He's looking for work. His name is Torch.
Torch. You want to tell me where that came from? Or should I just let my imagination run wild?
Please, Mrs. Kensington, would you tell Mrs. Kensington we're here? Oh, Mrs. Kensington, there you are. I do not mean to be a bother, but this man is looking for work.
His name is Torch.
I'm sure.
I explained to him that times are bad, but he insisted on coming. He's a good man, even though I know there's nothing for him.
Nonsense. We always have room for one more good hand.
What's going on?
Oh, King, I'd like you to meet Torch. He's going to be our new ranch hand.
What are you talking about? Wuhan, what the hell are you doing back here? You're supposed to be in Sacramento.
I have bad news for you, Mr. Kensington. Some of Tyler Kane's men ambushed the truck and destroyed the brand raisins.
What?
Does this mean we can't get the patent?
Not until next harvest.
What are we going to do?
I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to hire any damn ranch hands we can't afford.
Seems to me you could use another good hand, especially with all the trouble you've been having.
Kane, I already told him he could have the job, and I am the matriarch.
And like you said, he is a good man.
All right, hire him. But you make sure you confine your work to the fields, mister. Come on, I'll show you the fun cop.
That's okay, I'll show him.
It's my ranch. I'll show him.
Fine. While you're all fighting over who's going to show him, I guess I'll be figuring out another way of saving Kensington raisins.
Huh.
Kane doesn't mean all those things he says. He's just consumed with hatred and revenge. Shall we?
Excuse me, Mrs. Kensington, but if there is money now to hire a new man, does this mean I can finally have the small raise I have been asking for?
No, Juan. This was all just an empty field when we first came here. My husband and Tyler harvested it by hand.
Where is your husband?
He's dead. I assumed you knew.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
This was Yancey's favorite place. He used to grow the most gorgeous roses ever seen in these parts. Of course, I really haven't kept up with it.
You mind if I ask, what happened?
To Yancey.
Yes.
Freak accident. It happened just after he and Tyler Kane ended their partnership.
Yancey and Tyler were partners?
And best friends. But that was 20 years ago. It all ended when Yancey noticed a change in Tyler in the way he was doing business. He thought he'd started to become unscrupulous. That's why to this day Kane blames Tyler for his father's death. In any event, Yancey and Tyler were both fighting to establish themselves as independents. I remember it was night. The phone rang. Yancey answered it, and when he hung up, he said he had to meet someone out at the dehydrator. The dehydrator is where they process the raisins for market. I remember he walked out, and then I only know what happened from the reports that were given. That's all I know.
He wasn't boxed, was he?
Ew.
Are you sure it was an accident?
What do you mean?
I mean, did you ever see the police report?
No, I think everyone just assumed.
Well, do you know who he was supposed to meet?
No, I don't. But that wasn't unusual. Yancey was a very private man.
Do you have any idea why he was called to the dehydrator at night?
No, I don't. Look, you have to understand, I didn't pay much attention to business in those days. Yancey always took care of everything. I was busy raising Cain.
Do you mean to tell me that your husband gets a mysterious phone call in the middle of the night, goes off to a rendezvous with you don't know who, and then has a freak accident, and you never questioned whether there was anything more to it than that?
Well, no. That is, I should say, not until now.
Hi, we're almond growers, and these are our world-famous Blue Diamond Smokehouse almonds. Many people say they're the best-tasting snack on earth. And they're probably right. If you agree, please buy some today.
If you disagree, please buy some tomorrow. That way we'll know.
Right.
Blue Diamond Almonds, Smokehouse, and 7 other great tastes.
A can a week. That's all we ask.
If you could change one thing about your maxi days, aside from not having them, wouldn't you just like them to be cleaner? Well, say hello to cleaner days with new stay-free silhouettes. Fitted maxi pads with this new Stay Clean surface. Fluid passes through and gets buried within the pad. The surface stays cleaner, so you feel cleaner, fresher. Brilliant, huh?
Maxi days are cleaner days with new stay-free silhouettes. Maxi pads and thin maxi pads.
Smile.
The easy does is 35 for pictures that you come alive.
35 millimeter?
It's easy. Kodak beyond 35.
You just drop the film in. It almost loads itself. Then aim and shoot.
Have you ever seen a sharper baby picture?
I have.
Whichever one you want to choose, we've got the 35 for you. Kodak VR 35.
It's a great shot.
Nothing to it.
We asked 1,000 doctors if stranded on an island, which would they want? Tylenol, extra strength Tylenol, Advil, or Bayer? More doctors chose Bayer, nearly 2 to 1 over extra strength Tylenol. Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders.
No battery outruns the Energizer.
I come from a generation that used drugs. I understand the pressure to be liked, to be included, to be accepted. The price you pay for acceptance by choosing to take drugs is addiction. The drugs available today have been designed for addiction. They've been produced to force you into lifelong drug use, thus financial destruction and early death. If you still have the choice, give yourself and your future a chance. Stop the madness.
Mind if I ask where you're from? Torch.
Does it matter? Kansas. My mother ran a diner on Highway 81.
And your father?
I never knew my father. He just passed through one day. Just long enough to have a cup of coffee and me. Who's that?
That's my adopted daughter, Tiffany.
She's young. You and your husband must have adopted her just before he died.
Actually, I adopted Tiffany after Yancey died. To fill the emptiness, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's not your fault. It's just I think maybe we've opened up enough wounds for one day.
Excuse me, Mrs. Kensington, but could I speak with you?
This isn't about money again, is it, Juan?
Mrs. Kensington, I do not wish to be a pest. I only wish to make you understand. The small raise I seek is not for me. It is for food and clothing for my family.
Juan, I've seen the food you eat and the clothing your family wears. It can't possibly cost that much.
Mrs. Kensington, it is not easy for me to ask for money. I am a proud man. I come from a proud family. My ancestors once owned the land in this valley. I work it as if it were still my family's land, with love and care and much labor. Look at this soil, Mrs. Kensington. I have worked this for you. I have tilled until dawn and watered and fertilized. For you, Mrs. Kensington. I would not have worked one bit harder if I was working for myself. And now, all I'm asking for in return is for what I believe in my heart is fair. What do you say, Mrs. Kensington? Is it not right?
It's not a matter of what's right, Juan. It's a matter of just the way things are. The world is made up of the haves and the have-nots. I have, you have not. Am I making any sense?
Do I have the raise?
No, you have not.
Glad you could find the time in your schedule to meet with me this morning.
I'm still not sure why I'm here, Mr. Kensington.
I've been reading where your Acme Toxic Waste Company's been having a little trouble with the environmentalists.
I'm afraid that's an occupational hazard.
Maybe I can make it a little less so. Ever hear of Duke's Lake?
Can't say as I have, no.
No reason you should. It's a private lake on Ethel Duke's property just north of here. There's a river that flows from it. Right smack between Kensington Ranch and Tyler Kane's place. My daddy and Tyler created it years ago to irrigate the crops. We still lease the rights to it from Mrs. Duke. Now, aside from irrigating, that river is just sitting there, not doing a damn thing. I was thinking maybe we could strike a little deal.
You offering me a place to dump?
For a price, Mr. Acme. For a price.
But Joe, what are you doing here? You know the Kensingtons don't allow nobody in the house who's perspiring.
I don't care. I got a right to kiss my wife whenever I want.
You could pull your trucks in along here and do the whole thing at night.
What about Tyler Kane?
No reason he'd ever have to know. As I understand it, even if you accidentally pollute our water, you wouldn't hurt the crops. You'd only kill the wildlife.
So, you're saying there's nothing to be concerned about?
Not as I see it.
Except why you're willing to do this.
Ever since my daddy died, the cane-raising empire has grown while ours is shriveled. I intend once and for all to put a stop to that, but I need money. And frankly, Mr. Acme, I don't care anymore how I get it.
You've got to go, Billy Joe. You're going to get caught.
I hate you working in here all the time while I'm out back in the fields.
Oh, you know, it's just how I get my singing career going. And things will be great for us, you'll see.
I don't like the idea of you working at anything, except for being my wife. Call it crazy jealousy, but I want you home with me, Bobby Joe.
Oh, I'll always be with you, Billy. Now, please go before we both get caught.
Why, Bobby Joe, how long have you been standing there?
Not long. I was just dusting.
These are mighty thin walls. You shouldn't be out in the hall dusting when people are in the study having a drink.
I didn't even know anybody was in the study.
Well, then how come you're acting so jumpy?
I better get back to work.
Right.
Going later.
Right. We're going to have to do something about this, Bobby Joe.
Oh, please, Mr. Kensington.
What's this I hear about you wanting to be a country western singer?
Oh, it's true, but...
What would you say if I had you booked on the Tucker Agajanian talent show from Bakersfield tomorrow night?
Tucker Agajanian? You do that for me? Why?
Let's just say I'd rather have you singing your big mouth off than shooting it off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the right attitude. Now, what do you say?
Mr. Kensington, I don't know what to say. This is the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. Thank you.
Darling, wait till you hear the good news about Bobby Joe.
Why, wait. I think I can see it.
Roast beef is delicious, Mama.
Is it? I wasn't sure. My mind just hadn't been on cooking tonight.
Are you dreading seeing Tyler Kane at that festival meeting tomorrow?
No one knows how much.
Well, I put together a little deal today that's going to go a long way toward getting even with Tyler Kane.
Deal? You ask me, I think it's pathetic that all you and Tyler ever think about is power and greed and who can get even with whom.
That's because you're a fairy queen.
All right, I've heard about enough of that. Maybe I am different, but only because I'd rather spend my time preserving natural resources than corporate assets. At least I'm committed to a principle like our father was. You're not committed to anything except making a buck.
Well, that's a commitment, isn't it?
Kevin, wait. Where you going?
Out.
You wanted to make him leave, didn't you?
As long as we're on the subject of leaving, has anyone heard the news about Bobby Joe? She's going to sing on a talent show tomorrow night from some bar in Bakersfield.
Yes. And Kane, the dear, arranged the whole thing.
I told you that was innocent. You honestly believe I would have an affair right here under our own roof?
If you could get away with it, I think you'd have an affair in the back seat of our car with me driving.
Pain, really.
All right, Charlotte. I was just about to take a sip anyway.
I'll get it. Hello? Fine. I'll see you there in a few minutes. I've got to go meet someone. I may be a while. Don't wait up.
Excuse me. Well, I wish just once I could finish a meal with one of my children still at the table.
Which book do you think I should take?
I don't want you to go, Bobby Joe.
Oh, but this is my big break.
What are me and BJ supposed to do?
It's sold for one night. BJ can stay with the Kensingtons like he is tonight.
I don't want nothing that comes from Kane Kensington.
Billy Joe, all my life, I've wanted to make music and sing my songs for the people. That's what I was born to do. And I love it. But that don't mean I love you and that. You know what I've always said? No matter what happens, no matter how famous I get or how far I go, I've always come back for you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bobby Joe, but I'm just not in the mood when I'm thinking about Kane Kensington.
Well, don't think about him.
Well, how can I not think about him? He can do things for you I can't.
There's one thing you can do for me that he can't.
Oh, he can probably do that better than me, too.
At this very moment, where the morning is replacing the night, a woman is performing the ritual that holds a secret of youth. She starts with one shimmering drop. Ever so quickly, the ritual replenishes youthful fluids, greaselessly easing away dryness. Her day begins with a silkier, younger look. The ritual of oil of Olay, fluid or cream. It can help keep you looking younger, too.
There's a new Kringle chip when you eat at your hip. It's not butter and Bruce, it's not butter and juice. It's not butter and Larry, it's not butter and Gary. It's not butter and Herb, it's butter and herbs. For the taste you can't curb, new Pringles, butter and herbs. With mild creamy butter, parsley and dill, and lots of tangy spices. Not butter and Mr. Bill. It's not butter and bread, it's butter and herbs. For the taste you can't curb, new Pringles, butter and herbs.
Come on, baby, try me. Oh, sweet sugar, try me. Just see what I can do. I know you love me too. Try me, honey, try me.
At Harris 3M, you get more than great copies. You get Harris 3M people, so your job runs smoothly.
Try me.
Universal Pictures brings you the first animated feature film presented by Steven Spielberg. The story of one family's journey to America and Fievel, their son, who got lost along the way.
Fievel!
An American Tale, a Don Bluth film, rated G. Papa! Starts Friday at select theaters.
Fresno will continue. Americans, we like straight talk. We want hard facts. We demand the truth. We know who we are. And when it comes to news, we know who we trust. Dan Rather, weeknights on the CBS Evening News. We keep America on top of the world.
Thursday at a special time.
We're turning our finely honed minds to the one big enchilada.
A desperate treasure hunt pits Simon against Simon.
Sounds like a bad spaghetti western.
Then, the nighttime soap voted #1 by TV Guide and Soap Opera Digest is now back where it belongs. Knots Landing back at 10, 9 Central and Mountain Thursday on CBS.
It takes all kinds to create a nation, some more controversial than others.
Sam Houston. And history will want to know who I killed tonight.
To some, he was a disgrace. To the president, an embarrassment. But to one state, Texas, he was a hero.
Remember the Alamo! Fire!
Sam Elliott is Houston, the Legend of Texas, Saturday on CBS.
This is CBS.
Channel 2's First Edition. Live, spontaneous First Edition.
Ask the question. Well, I want you to answer it.
Enlightening, engaging First Edition.
Censorship should start in the home and end in the home.
Sometimes controversial, always committed to keeping you a step ahead.
Why were the Russians picking on you? Why you rather than anybody else?
Well, I think there was another candidate.
First Edition, with Walter Jacobson and Don Craig, weekdays at 4:30.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Together as this new what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming your way. Together at Disney. Come on, let's play.
It's your time to break away now.
It's one fun, extra fun.
Disney World's a great vacation.
Zippity-doo-dah.
Zippity-yay. Together at Disney. I'll never get them out of here. Wonderful day.
Sisters meet for the first time, Monday on Donahue.
Need any help?
I don't know why I'm having trouble with this today.
Why don't you ride bareback?
You mean the horse race? I've never tried this before. Is there anything I should know?
Oh, just take it easy and let the rhythm of the horse lead you. By the way, I'm Torch.
I know. I'm Tiffany.
I know.
Ethel, I'm prepared to make you a very generous offer.
We're not going to go through this again, are we, Tyler?
$500,000. That'll buy a lot of clocks.
I know what you're trying to do. You only want this land so you can cut off the Kensington's water supply.
Well, what's wrong with that? By cutting off the Kensingtons, I get control of the valley. If I have control of the valley, I have control of raisins.
Is that so important?
It's very important, Ethel. The man who controls raisins controls Fresno.
He and Ethel still in there?
Yes.
Way he keeps coming around, fella could get suspicious. You get my drift.
What do you say?
What I said before. The land is not for sale.
Damn it! I'm tired of this. And you sell me that land, Rob?
Oh, you hit me. Go ahead. You haven't got the guts.
Oh, my God. The king. And he lost control. I don't like losing control of anything.
You don't control me, Tyler.
Not yet. But I'm not finished. Because I'm coming back again. And again and again. And each time it will be more unpleasant. Because each time I'll offer you more money.
Well, we look stunning. All dressed up to go to the planning meeting.
I don't feel stunning, but I have to keep up appearances.
I don't know why we spend money every year hosting something that everyone in Fresno knows we can't afford anyway.
I do it, Jolyn, for the memory of Yancey. He always wanted the Kensingtons to host the Raisin Festival masquerade ball, and as long as I have the resources, the Kensingtons always will.
The car is waiting, madam.
Thank you, Charles. Tang!
The Rose, I'm sorry to say, is not running today, madam.
Very well, Charles.
Well, we're off. Bye, darling. Any plans while we're out?
Oh, I thought I'd drink a fifth of gin and slip my wrists.
Oh, then this really is goodbye. Well, in any event, enjoy yourself.
Let's go, Mama.
I really don't like this, Charles.
Nor do I, madam.
Like a fascinating investment, Tyler.
Well, I don't know how much of an investment it'll be. More like an amusement, really. But none of you ever thought of buying an island, huh?
Too rich for our blood, I'm afraid. Unless you're suggesting a transfusion.
Hello, Charlotte. Nice to see you again.
Hello, Tyler.
Now, you look fresh as a spring day. That station wagon of yours air-conditioned?
What do you say we get started? I'm sure we all have more important matters to attend to than this little clam bake.
Sounds like I might remind Mr. Kensington that this clam bake is our industry's one chance during the year to put our best foot forward. And speaking of best feet, I have a little suggestion to make about the masquerade ball.
What's that?
Well, I suggest we move it to my place this year.
Oh. You won't stop, will you?
What do you mean?
You know what hosting that ball means to me. It was Yancey's pride and joy.
I thought roses were Yancey's pride and joy.
Roses and balls. They were both joys. It was impossible to tell which he prized more. You're not going to take this away from me, too, Tyler.
Charlotte, I have no intention of offending you. It's just that, well, frankly, the Kensington ball is just not what it used to be.
We have always entertained beautifully for the ball, and we will again this year.
You didn't serve food last year.
We did, too.
You had crackers and canned cheese.
We had Raisin Mousse Jubilee, and you know it.
Look, I think the only fair thing to do is just take a vote. All those in favor of having the ball at Mrs. Kensington's place again this year, say aye.
Aye.
All those in favor of using my place?
Aye.
You'll go to any lengths to degrade me, won't you?
Perhaps we better let the Titans battle this out between themselves. Come on, King.
Well, I'm a Titan, too, aren't I? I'll be right outside if you need.
Charlotte.
You know, you don't have to be degraded here. Just sell me Kensington raisins and you could be out of all of this.
You'd offer me half of what it's worth, if that. I know you, Tyler. It's not enough for you just to win. You have to conquer.
Why do you make ambition sound like something bad? Maybe you forgot how ambitious Yancey was.
Not at other people's expense.
Well, how would you know? You were one of the things he wanted. And he always got what he went after. One way or another. Actually, we're not that different.
You'll never be the man Yancey was.
Charlotte, Yancey is dead. Right now, I'm twice the man he is.
The only reason you want us out of the raisin business is so that you can erase the name of Yancey Kensington from this valley forever. But I am warning you, Tyler, I will die before I let that happen.
Well, things go the way I plan. I'll erase the name of Yancey Kensington, with or without your help.
Come on, son.
What happened?
We'll talk about it in the car.
I put these beauties aside for you. Everybody's eating more vegetables these days.
That's why Campbell's added more vegetables to their vegetable soup.
Pasta, sure. Rigatoni, tortellini.
Pasta's not just noodles these days, so Campbell's put seashell pasta in their minestrone.
Cheese? You love cheese on anything.
So Campbell's gave you nacho cheese soup dip. As your tastes grow, Campbell's is listening and growing with you.
Campbell's soup is good food.
And keeps getting better.
California raisins from the California vineyards.
Don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine?
Sounds better than what I got. Today, for your tough headache pain, there's a superior level of pain-relieving strength. Nuprin strength. Beyond regular strength aspirin, beyond extra strength Tylenol, now there's Nuprin strength. This new medical study proves too little Nuprin give more pain relief than extra strength Tylenol. So Nuprin stops headaches better. And remember, Nuprin is gentler to your stomach than aspirin. For strength beyond extra strength Tylenol, Nuprin strength.
Sorry, girls, but I gotta let some of you go.
These cows are out of work because you're eating Chex brand cereals without milk. Come on, those little spaces were made to hold milk. So please, don't eat Chex without the milk.
You're a part of my life. You're a part of my home.
Your cat's a big part of your life, so make Purina Cat Chow brand cat food part of his. It's all the nutrition cats need.
You're a part of my heart, part of my life.
Fresno will continue.
Monday.
How about a theme where people have to bring us presents?
It's party time on Newhart.
Oops, ixnay on the arty thing.
Then, meet Julia's son.
That's my boy.
He has designs on an older woman.
Payne, darling, why don't you take the bags up to our room? Over my dead body.
Then, Cagney and Lacey uncover.
Just your ordinary, everyday pornographers.
Which leads to murder.
You didn't do it. Yeah.
Monday.
This man has murdered
Guilty.
17 innocent children. And this man is about to set him free.
Just don't like it. When the hell did you ever hear me say that I liked it?
Peter Strauss must choose between outrage and justice. Who does the law protect? Penalty Phase, Tuesday on CBS.
Good evening. Here's Newsbreak from CBS News. There's word tonight that Kim Il-sung, the president of North Korea, is dead. And South Korean Defense Ministry says he was shot to death. Reports are still sketchy, but one says North Korean guards were broadcasting over loudspeakers across the demilitarized zone that Kim had been killed in a shootout. Secretary of State George Shultz said today he thinks President Reagan's decision to send some arms to Iran as a sign of good faith was debatable. Schultz told CBS News, as far as he's concerned, the arms embargo against Iran still stands, but Schultz said he is not in a position to speak for the administration. 2 Senate Democrats are highly critical of the president's move, Leader Robert Byrd calling it a massive blunder, and Patrick Leahy of Vermont saying it shows terrorists, if you want to get American arms, seize an American hostage. In London today, Father Lawrence Jenko, who was released by his kidnappers in Lebanon this summer, said it would be better for other American hostages to stay in captivity and be freed in return for U.S. arms shipments to Iran. Father Jenko is in London for a meeting of ex-hostages with church envoy Terry Waite. More after this.
The word is out. A Duracell battery will outlast a Kodak Superlife battery by up to 20%. We just can't help crowing about it. Duracell. No battery lasts longer.
It seems the only way Eugene Hassenfuss can avoid the 30-year jail term he's been sentenced to by a Nicaraguan People's Tribunal is a pardon by the Sandinista government. The leader of Nicaragua's Catholic Church called for a pardon or amnesty today, and Vice President Sergio Ramirez said it hasn't been ruled out. But the Justice Minister of the country says he sees no reason for a pardon. In Manila, it's Monday morning, and a general strike has begun, called by the union that Rolando Alalia used to lead. Another stoppage has been called for Thursday, the day of Alalia's funeral. He was found murdered last week, and marchers in a Manila demonstration Sunday blamed Defense Minister Juan Ponce and Relay for the killing. This is Charles Osgood. I'll see you later on the CBS Sunday Night News.
This is CBS.
It's turkey time again. Time to hunt down that big bird for the big feast. Willard Scott here, tooting my horn over these delicious honeysuckle white turkeys. They're hand-selected for extra white meat, and they come with a new pop-up turkey timer. Each honeysuckle white turkey is unconditionally guaranteed.
Which way, cranberry?
Over there, my friend. Hey, just like the first time. Dinner's at his place. Unconditionally guaranteed.
Sure, I could drive, but I take the train.
Every day, people are finding that taking the train is more convenient and less time-consuming than driving. You might too. And with our 10-ride ticket that saves you 15%, the time is right.
For my money, commuting any other way is a waste of time.
Read or work or watch the miles go by. You're on Metro, the way to really fly.
The Metropolitan Rail.
Sinatra out of the hospital at 10.
What did you say to them?
I didn't say anything. I threw my drink in his face and walked out.
Why?
We were right about him. He intends to get those water rights and cut us off.
He came right out and told you that?
In no uncertain terms.
Well, don't get upset just yet. This little business deal I made could take care of a lot of problems.
Excuse me, madam, but the electric gates seem to be stuck. I shall have to get out to see what the trouble is.
Very well, Charles.
Don't forget, in all of this, we've got an ace in the hole.
You mean Ethel Duke?
Well, she does seem to be on our side. Who knows, with the new money coming in, maybe we can buy the water rights.
Do you have any idea how much they cost?
I'm not even sure she'd want to sell.
But say she's willing to sell. Do you think she'd sell to us?
I don't know, but I'm sure she'd rather sell to us than to Tyler.
Well, I don't think she wants to sell at all.
Well, that's best for us. Let's hope she doesn't.
Well, still, I worry. How can we be sure that Ethel's not going to bend to Tyler's pressure, or worse, to his threat?
We can't be sure. That's why we have to keep our eyes and ears open. Fortunately for us, Fresno can be a small town. I doubt there's too much you go on behind our back.
Madam?
Taking Bobby Joe to Bakersfield was the toughest thing I've ever had to do, Warren.
Trying to get a raise from Mrs. Kensington is the toughest thing I have ever had to do.
I don't know what'll happen if it turns out Bobby Joe's successful. They say success can change people.
I wouldn't know about that. But you can always look on the bright side. If she is successful, at least she will not be poor. Like me. Well, here we are. You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. gonna go in, pop a beer, listen to Bobby Joe on the radio tonight, and hope all her dreams don't come true. Mrs. Kensington, what are you doing here?
Oh, I was just out for a walk, and I thought I'd stop by.
Oh. Well, is there something I can do for you?
I certainly hope so.
I know you're probably all nervous, but the two most important things to remember are to play loud and to have a good time. Most important thing is to have a good time. Nobody expects Johnny Cash to walk out. Now, don't get nuts if I mispronounce your name. Hell, I mispronounce my own name half the time. Nobody listens to your name anyhow. The prizes are all voted by number. Now, if I get your number wrong, tell me, because that's important. All right, now, are there any questions?
Excuse me. There's some place I can tune my guitar.
You're the ladies' room right over there.
Tune a guitar? I thought you said this was amateur.
What's going on?
Well, I just thought we could both use some company tonight, what with your wifey off in Bakersfield and my pathetic excuse for a husband probably on his way there to join her.
What?
Well, you don't honestly think Kane did your wifey a favor just to be nice to you? Kane's never done anything in his life that he didn't expect to be paid back for, one way or another.
Bobby Joe wouldn't do that to me.
Oh, baby, I don't think she's doing it to you. I think she's doing it with Kane.
Get out.
What?
I don't want nothing to do with you.
You're joking.
Well, yeah, I am. You just take your clothes and your jewels and your fancy furs and get on home where you belong. You only come over here because you got some problem with your husband. It's got nothing to do with Bobby Joe. Because you probably see me working out in the fields and thought I was kind of sharp on account of the way I don't wear no shirt sometimes and the sweat kind of glistens off my chest. But I don't want your kind around here. You're nothing but a cheap tramp and a liar.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, go on. You go on.
Well, I swear.
Yeah, get on home.
Doing a little investigating.
About what?
Yancey Kensington's death.
Happened over 20 years ago. Why would you care about that?
Curiosity, I guess. Just trying to figure out how 37 tons of raisins could have accidentally fallen on someone.
How could they?
That's the problem. They couldn't.
Got a pelican on his head. He orders a beer. The fellow sitting next to him says, "Hey, buddy, do you know there's a pelican on your head?" And the fellow with the pelican says, "You're right. Make out 2 beers." Now, come on. How many of you heard that one before? Right here. Anyhow, our next contestant, number 3, for those of you who want to remember, is a pretty little lady hailing from Fresno. Now, this is her first official amateur performance. So let's give her a big Bakersfield welcome. Come on out here, Bobby Joe Bob! Hey!
Y'all, before I sing, I'd like to thank somebody. He's a special man without whom my being here tonight would not have been made possible. Mr. Kane Kensington.
Kane Kensington?
Just because you're a migrant worker, don't mean we got a migrant love. Every step you take, every sound you make is what I'm dreaming of. When the sun goes down and you come around, I thank the stars above. Just because you're a migrant worker, don't mean we got a migrant love. Just because you're a when the day is done and it's time for fun, up my temperature goes. Just because you're a raisin cowboy, don't mean we're raising only those.
Dear McDonald's, letters are my life. So believe me, the letters McD, L, and T don't do your scrumptious burger justice. It's not just lettuce and tomato. It's the works. Come on, spell it out. Love, Vanna White.
Whatever you say, Vanna. So call it the hot side hot, cool side cool, every delicious thing you could want on a hamburger. Or just call it McDLT, the one with the works.
After 25 years, people have had it with dishwasher powders all over their dishes. Fortunately, you're about to get a break from powders. Introducing Palmolive Automatic, a revolutionary new liquid made just for automatic dishwashers. Because it's a liquid, it dissolves faster to rinse clean with no powder residue. So you can get on with other things. Try new Palmolive Automatic and break away from powders.
It began as a new way of thinking about the relationship between the automobile and the road. It evolved into an automotive suspension system like none before. The Mercedes-Benz multi-link independent rear suspension system. 5 individual links per wheel precisely interacting to achieve handling stability as never before. Helping to make the 300 class the most technologically advanced automobiles in Mercedes-Benz history.
It started with a simple idea. Create a real difference in makeup. Makeup so pure, even women with sensitive skin could wear it. So beautiful, every woman will want to. Introducing Clarion. A new makeup that's not only free of fragrance and irritants, but ultra pure. So Clarion is good to your skin. And it does all the dazzling things you want makeup to do. Clarion is beautiful makeup with a sensitive touch. And that's the difference, pure and simple.
Morning, Mama. Tiffany? Air that I breathe?
You didn't come to bed last night. Up late in Bakersfield?
I know you prefer to think I've been unfaithful, Sugar Plum, but the truth is, I did come to bed last night.
Well, you weren't in bed this morning.
That's because I was up early this morning at the police station.
The police station? What for?
For Billy Joe Bob. He's been arrested.
For what?
Hold on to your raisin toast. For murder. He's killed Ethel Duke.
Oh, my God.
Shot her right out back in her trailer last night. Caused quite a commotion. I'm just grateful you could all sleep through it.
I guess sleeping with you has taught me that I could sleep through anything.
We've got to do something to help.
Already been done, little sister. I've got Billy Joe, the best lawyer money can buy.
Can we afford that?
It's a public defender, Mama. The county pays for it.
Are you sure there hasn't been some mistake? Who said Billy Joe did it?
Billy Joe himself. Shot her right through the heart.
Always had such a good heart.
I know. Just yesterday, Ethel refused Tyler Kane's offer to buy her property because she thought selling out would harm the Kensingtons.
Now the harm has come to poor Ethel.
Well, the question is, why would Billy Joe do it?
No. The question is, now that old Ethel's dead, what's going to happen to those water rights?
Morning, Tucker.
Hey, Bobby Joe! You know, people are still talking this morning about what a fine job you did on the show last night.
Can I use your phone?
Sure. If you ask me, little lady, you got talent. I ought to know. I don't see that much of it.
Why didn't he answer?
Trouble?
I don't know.
This is your last chance to add anything to your statement.
I told you everything just like it happened.
Okay, book 'em.
All right, let's go.
Hold it, Sergeant. You're not going anywhere with my client.
Your client?
Desiree de Mornay, attorney for the defense. Billy Joe Bob, you have the right to remain silent. If you do choose to speak, you have the right to counsel. If you waive those...
He waived, and we've been all through this. He confessed. I confessed because it was all an accident.
Sit down. Tell me what happened.
You can read what happened in the police report. Where were you earlier?
It takes me a while to get ready, okay? Go ahead, Billy Joe. They can wait. Tell me your side of it.
Oh, it's the same thing I've told everybody. I was upset because Bobby Joe went to Bakersfield to sing on this talent show. I didn't want her to go off and have a career. I wanted her to stay home and have babies and be my wife. You can understand that, can't you?
Yeah, you can understand that, can't you, Miss Defense Attorney?
My job is to defend you, Billy, not to understand you. Please go on.
When I heard Bobby Joe on the radio, I couldn't take it anymore. I just went crazy for a second. I shot the radio. That's what I was aiming at, not Mrs. Duke.
Then how did...
Ricochet. It's pretty open and shut. The only thing to determine is the charge. Naturally, the state's going to argue for second degree.
Second degree?
The man shot with malice aforethought.
How can you say that? He didn't shoot with malice or forethought.
If he had no forethought, why'd he have a gun?
I don't think we'll have too much trouble proving that he shot that radio in anger.
I admitted I was angry.
Especially if he keeps confessing. I'll shut up.
All right, gentlemen, make whatever charges you want to, but I warn you both. I'm planning to take this whole thing to court.
Now that Ethel's dead, Tyler Kane's going to try to persuade Earl to sell him those water rights.
We can't let that happen.
Have you got some way to stop it? Perhaps?
Earl is a man in mourning, after all. And I know how that feels. I could comfort him.
What are you suggesting?
But I'm still a woman with wiles, and I'll use those wiles if I have to get those water rights.
From Earl Duke? The man is a slobbering imbecile. I will not have my mother debasing herself by coming on to a vile, disgusting creature like that. We'll have Talon do it.
Kane, I'm still the head of this family. It's my responsibility. If anybody's going to get debased, it's going to be me.
It must have been a terrible shock for you, Earl.
Well, I'm happy at least to have this to remember her by.
Earl, I know Ethel's been dead for less than 24 hours, but I was just wondering if you had a chance to think about what you're going to do with those water rights.
No. Mostly I've been trying to find a slow leak in one of my tires.
Well, you know, it's ironic in a way that only yesterday Ethel promised to sell me those rights for $500,000.
She did?
Mm-hmm. You, being a man of integrity and all, I'm sure you'll want to honor her last wishes.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, the $500,000, that was for the two of you. With just one of you now, it would come to, well, $250,000.
Of course.
So we have a deal?
Oh, well, being a man of integrity, I feel I should have to first listen to what the Kensingtons can fork over, but assuming they can't top the bid.
I can have the check to you in full by, let's say, noon tomorrow.
There is just one more little hitch.
What's that?
A new car. After all, that's been the terms of our little deals in the past, right, Mr. Kane?
Earl, you drive a hard bargain.
No. I drive an Impala.
Okay, Earl. See you, buddy.
Do I detect victory, sir?
Troy, by this time tomorrow, I should control all of Fresno.
Congratulations, sir.
Unless
what?
Unless Charlotte Kensington offers him something better than money.
Better than money, sir?
After all, she's still an attractive, alluring woman, and Earl is a disgusting, drooling Neanderthal.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that money may not be the root of all evil, and if I'm right, I may have to sweeten my offer with a little, candy.
Yeah. Oh, you should have seen it, Juan. Would have made you sick. Dead carp were popping up everywhere. Yes, sir. I don't know what killed them, but if my guess is right, it was no freak of nature. Someone put something in this river.
Kevin, you're a sensitive man.
Thank you.
Maybe you can tell me why your mother will not give me a raise.
I don't know, Juan.
I work long hours caring for my family and this ranch, and yet I have nothing. No land, no money.
Well, I'm probably not the right person to talk to about this, Juan. I'm not the kind of man who's into money.
I'm kind of into it. Perhaps your mother does not realize how far she is pushing me. Your mother, she goes to bed early most nights, and I guess she's alone when she goes up to bed.
I imagine. I don't sleep in the house, you know. I live out back here. That's why I can't understand how this could happen without my knowing it. I'm like a watchdog around this place.
In your mother's room, there's a window that faces the back of the house. If someone wanted to scare your mother, they could maybe put a ladder up to her window and climb into her room late at night.
I get the feeling there's something suspicious going on here, Juan.
Oh?
Don't ask me what. Let's just hope I can find the answer down there. Here I go. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Hi, we're almond growers. Now is the perfect time of year to have or attend an almond roast. We've put everything you'll need right here in this handy almond roast kit. That's right. This kit is so complete, the almonds are already roasted. Yay! The forks are not included.
Blue Diamond almonds, roasted and 7 other great tastes.
Don't you wish you had some right now? We wish you had some right now. A can a week, that's all we ask.
Nothing escapes the eye of Maxim. The world's first SLR with built-in autofocus, Minolta Maxim focuses by itself. Sharp, fast. Only the human eye focuses faster. With Minolta Maxim, you even get unexpected shots that would have gotten away. The incredible Maxim system.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
A waxy stick for chapped lips, waxes for candles. Vaseline lip therapy is for lips.
It's better because it covers more completely. It not only heals, it helps prevent chapping.
With Vaseline lip therapy, you may never get chapped lips again.
For really fresh-tasting spaghetti sauce, pick this. Or pick Ragu Chunky Garden-style spaghetti sauce with the garden fresh taste of chunky tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms. Ragu Chunky Garden-style with fresh from the garden taste.
On a job like mine, there's always a deadline, so I can't take time out for a cold or a cold medicine that makes me drowsy. That's why I count on Sudafed for fast relief without feeling drowsy.
Sudafed starts to relieve a stuffy nose and clogged sinuses in as quick as 22 minutes without drowsiness. Just 22 minutes, and you can get on with your day. Sudafed, the fast-acting cold medicine.
It won't slow you down. Good evening, and welcome to the 6 o'clock.
Fresno will continue. Wednesday on CBS.
Somebody just tried to kill us.
Is this a murder Magnum wrote?
There's real help on the way.
Does this big mainland investigator have a name?
J.B. Fletcher.
I'm sure that normally you're very good at what you do.
Angela Lansbury guests on a very special episode.
Things are beginning to get serious.
Magnum. Then, the equalizer's framed for the shooting of a blind man.
Who wants you this bad?
My life is on the line here. I haven't been on the run for years.
Friday.
Double agents change sides all the time.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
All right, come on, I got a plan.
Very much in love.
Amanda, get out!
And very much
They've got us boxed in!
danger. Then, on Dallas, a wife's anguish.
I wish that baby didn't exist. I wish Jenna didn't exist.
I can't turn my back on it, honey.
A family's trauma.
I'm Jock Ewing.
And on Falcon Crest, a crisis of love.
I can't go through this alone, Chase.
A contest of wills.
I know you're up to something, and you have to tell me.
I know what I'm doing.
Friday. This is CBS.
From Channel 2 News, this is Newsbreak. Good evening at 9:26 from the Channel 2 newsroom. This is Newsbreak. In Chicago tonight, former National Security Advisor Robert McFarland defends his role in the so-called Iran connection and the alleged arms for hostages deal. In West Germany, a bomb ripped through an IBM research facility. Leftist terrorists claim responsibility. And health officials in Cleveland tried to find the cause of an apparent food poisoning at a convention center. 100 people became ill. Those stories and more on the Channel 2 Weekend News at 10.
Sir, Jet America has some of the lowest fares in the air. Call your travel agent or Jet America now, because these fares are low.
Gloves, hats, scarves, etc. Sleepwear, loungewear, handbags.
In the great fashion game, the person with the most accessories always wins. So seize the advantage and save during the Etc. accessory sale through November 29th at Marshall Fields.
Jewelry, etc. Gloves.
Yitzka and Morris review the Bears game tonight at 10:30.
Yes, I'm calling long distance for Bobby Joe Bob. Oh, she's over at the club already, is she? No, that's all right. I'll try her there. Just had some news to tell her about her husband, but it's nothing that can't wait. Goodbye.
Kane?
What is it, Kevin?
Look at this.
What? What are you doing?
We have got dead fish on the riverbank as thick as flies.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about somebody polluting our river water. There's an Acme toxic waste drum at the bottom of the riverbed. I don't know who had them do it, but somewhere in this town we've got a carp killer on our hands.
Take it easy, little brother. Maybe it was dumped there by accident.
Oh, you don't accidentally drop a 55-gallon drum into a private water supply. Some sick, sadistic fiend did this.
I certainly hope you don't think I had anything to do with it. Look, why don't you let me do some investigating and see if I can find out what happened?
No, I'm going to take care of this myself. I'm going down to this Acme company personally. Find out what's going on. Somebody is going to pay for this, Kane. And pay big, I promise you.
Kevin, wait, Kevin! Now he's worried about a dead fish. Acme, Kane Kensington. Listen, we may have a little trouble with my brother. Well, it seems like your men weren't too careful the other night. What do you mean I didn't tell you the river was only 4 feet deep? Okay, let's not get into a blame thing. I'm just calling to say if my brother stops by, not to say anything. Just play dumb and tell him it won't happen again. Well, knowing Kevin, he'd rather hear you say you're sorry than pick a fight with you.
Aunt Tiffany, can I go swimming? Did you ask your mommy, China? She said to ask you. Sure. Go ahead. I'll watch you through this window here. Thanks.
What smells delicious?
The ingredients to raisin pudding. I thought I'd bake some and take it to Billy Joe in jail. I thought it might cheer him up.
I should do it.
Well, others have always been wonderful to me. Now I want to be wonderful to others. Aunt Tiffany! I'll be out in a minute, sweetheart. I'm talking to Mr. Tort.
Hope I'm not bothering you.
Not at all.
I can't help it. I find myself being drawn to you.
You do?
Maybe it's because I feel we have something in common.
What's that?
Well, I know you were an orphan. I wasn't an orphan myself, but I only had one parent. I never knew my father.
Then you were a half-orphan.
Ever wonder about your real parents?
Wonder what?
Who they were?
Oh, sure. When I was younger, I tried to imagine they were missionaries in China. Aunt Tiffany! In a minute, China. Mr. Torch and I are discussing China.
Do you have any idea what happened to them?
My parents?
Ever wonder what they were like?
Of course.
Ever wonder if they're still alive?
What?
Ever wonder if you could find them again?
Well, no. That is, I should say, not until now.
Sure look a whole lot happier than you if I didn't hit you were last night.
Be a whole lot happier, too, if I could reach Billy Joe.
Tucker's Tuck speaking. Bobby Joe? Yes, he's right here.
That's him. Hello, Billy Joe.
No, Bobby Joe, this is Kane Kensington. Just calling to see how you did last night. Heard it went real well.
Kane, do you know where Billy is? I've been trying to reach him, but there's no answer.
Now, don't get yourself upset. There's a logical explanation.
Then you know where he is? Why didn't he call me after the show last night?
Well, I'm sure he would have, Bobby Joe, but they only get the one call.
What?
It seems that man of yours got himself into a speck of trouble. You can't leave us men alone for a minute, can you?
What's happened, Kane?
Well, I'm not sure of all the particulars, you understand, but basically what's happened is he's killed Ethel. Bobby Joe, you there? Say, how's your dressing room down there, nice? Bobby Joe? Bobby Joe?
I want to see Mr. Acme.
Mr. Acme hasn't come in yet this morning, but he's due in any minute if you care to wait.
You bet I'll wait.
Can I get you anything?
No. Thank you.
Who's parked in my space?
Mr. Acme, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kevin Kensington.
Say, any relation to Kensington Raisins?
The same.
Now, how about that? We got a celebrity in the office. I eat your product all the time. It's a wonderful food. Nutritious, flavorful, small. I'm a big fan.
Mr. Acme, may we speak privately in your office?
Well, of course. Hold the call. Well, what can I have the privilege of doing for you, Mr. Kensington?
You have been illegally dumping toxic waste into the Kensington Kane water supply. Before I press formal charges, I want to know why.
There must be some mistake.
There is, and you made it. I have got a 55-gallon drum with your name on it for proof. Now what do you have to say?
I promise you I don't know anything about it. But believe me, I want to find out.
Well, you better, because I am holding you personally responsible.
Will you excuse me just 1 minute while I go next door to my foreman, see if he knows anything? He's right through here. I'll be right back. This is acting. Kevin Kensington is sitting in my office. I don't want him to leave here alive. I just spoke to my foreman, and he's as confused about this as I am. But don't worry. We'll take care of it. In the meantime, I'm sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused.
Inconvenience? You and whoever put you up to this ought to be hung.
Mistakes will happen, Mr. Kensington.
You don't have the least regard for mankind or nature or this planet. You are a parasite, Mr. Acme. You kill innocent wildlife. You foul the world we live in. You upset the natural order of things, and you upset me, Mr. Kensington.
Mr. Kensington, I can appreciate your feelings, Mr. Kensington, but you have my assurance this entire matter will be investigated.
You bet it will be. And you have my assurance that I am going to make you pay for this if it's the last thing I ever do.
I'm sure it will be, Mr. Kensington.
Take the wrong truck.
Dear McDonald's, letters are my life. So believe me, the letters McD, L, and T don't do your scrumptious burger justice. It's not just lettuce and tomato. It's the works. Come on. Spell it out. Love, Vanna White.
Whatever you say, Vanna. So call it the hot side hot, cool side cool, every delicious thing you could want on a hamburger. Or just call it McDLT, the one with the works.
Taster's Choice, the image of gourmet store coffee. Only Taster's Choice uses a superior blend of the very same coffee beans found in gourmet stores, Arabica bean, the world's costliest and most flavorful. Gourmet store coffee and Taster's Choice, a remarkable resemblance. Enjoy the richness, aroma, and flavor. Regular or naturally decaffeinated, the choice for taste is Taster's Choice.
Dentine makes it nicer to be together.
Just the two of us, you and I.
Share that clean, tangy taste. Not even mouthwash can freshen your breath better than when you're chewing Dentine.
Just the two of us, getting closer all the time. Just the two of us, you and I.
You know, life's too short to worry about impressing other people. I mean, have you ever been really impressed by a person's credit card? What matters about a credit card is how it impresses me. MasterCard gives me what I want, and anything is possible. It goes where I want to go. Could be Timbuktu. When I want, day or night. Don't talk to me about impressions. Give me possibilities. MasterCard. Master the possibilities.
Where have you been?
I'm
my hair done. I had to find something to wear when I go see Earl Dew. Doesn't your mama look just as sharp as barbed wire? Why, you wouldn't believe the number of men who whistled at us.
Don't you mean whistled back?
Don't be cruel. I know you don't like the idea of my going over there, but you won't mind it so much when it works. Now, if you two will excuse me, I think I'm going to go upstairs and spray my hair some more. Come along, Charles. Well, did you call Bobby Joe with the heartbreaking news about Billy?
We're not going to start that again, are we? Why are you always accusing me of cheating on you?
Because you always are. Don't forget, darling, that's how I got you.
I wish you could believe me. And I tell you, you're the only woman I've ever been unfaithful with.
And I wish it were true. But remember, my sweet, two can play this game.
What's that supposed to mean?
You don't really think I went to all this trouble because of you, do you?
Right this way.
Baby!
Good book, good.
Oh, how are you?
Been a long time.
You're looking good.
Thanks. You bet.
Kids said hi.
Yeah, that's little Alfred, huh? Not gonna,
Billy Joe, look at you.
Tiffany?
I just can't believe this has happened. Nobody can. And now that I see you sitting there in your prison togs.
These are my own clothes.
Oh. Well, it's seeing you behind this screen then. Anyway, I just came to tell you that everyone's concerned about you and thinking about you and hope you get home real soon.
Thanks, Tiffany.
And I made you this. It's raisin pudding.
Tiffany, you shouldn't have done that.
Sorry, weapons check.
What?
It's a rule.
Huh?
Oh.
Uh-huh. I know this must seem silly, but you just can't be too careful. You'd be amazed at the things people try to sneak into prisoners. I love raisins. Looks real tasty. Well, that seems to check out fine. Enjoy it. How you doing?
Great.
Sorry. Maybe if you tried to eat around the parts you squished. Billy Joe!
Bobby Joe! What are you doing here?
Why wouldn't she be here? Kane called me, Billy. Told me you killed Ethel.
Kane told you, did he? Kane told you I killed Ethel. Kane told you to go to Bakersfield. You talk to Kane, you sing for Kane. What else you do for Kane?
What on earth are you talking about? Are you upset with Kane?
It's just that it was hard enough hearing you on the radio when I didn't even want you to go in the first place. But then, when I heard you thank Kane Kensington for everything, well, I just couldn't take it anymore. I knew then there must be some truth to it.
To what?
Oh, Bobby Joe, you don't have to cover up anymore. My killing Ethel was an accident, but maybe it was the best thing for all of us. At least with me in here, you can do what you want. You don't have to come back for me.
You're not making any sense, Billy Joe.
No, well, maybe this will make some sense. Bobby Joe, as far as I'm concerned, we're finished. Dog, take me away.
Billy Joe, wait! I don't understand. He doesn't mean it, Bobby Joe. What's gotten into him, Tiffany? I don't know, Bobby Joe, but it isn't you. He's just not thinking straight. He didn't even take his raisin pudding.
penny for your thoughts.
What are you doing here?
Thought it was time we got to know each other a little better.
Fellas, would you excuse us for a minute?
Thank you.
I only did it because I don't like to have company when I let a lady down.
What?
Nothing's going to happen between us.
I must be losing my touch.
I doubt that. You're a very attractive lady, Tom. But I won't be used as a pawn between you and your husband.
You're an amazing man, George. Thank you.
For what?
For saying something to me that no other man ever has. You know, I've been called a lot of things in my time. A tease, a trick, a trollop, a come-on, a tramp, a vixen, a harlot, a slut. But you're the first man who's ever called me a lady.
Dane, this is Acme. We got a problem.
What's the problem? Your brother. He's not gonna go as peacefully as you thought.
Oh?
He says he's gonna make me pay for this if it's the last thing he ever does. I want to make sure it is.
Well, I think you're really worrying for nothing, Acme. I mean, Kevin's very sensitive, but I don't think he'd actually do anything.
We can't afford to take that chance.
I guess... I guess not.
He could be dangerous to all of us.
Yeah, right.
I hope I'm making myself clear. He's your brother, after all. We want you to take care of him, Kane, if you're able.
Yeah, right.
Now bring the rolls around. And be sure and tell Millie to put an extra bed in Tiffany's room. Bobby Joe and little BJ are going to be staying with us until this tragedy with Billy Joe blows over. Well, will Earl Duke be impressed?
The car is waiting, madam.
Thank you, Charles.
I'm sorry to say, madam, the Rose isn't running an occasion today.
Very well. King, I do wish you wouldn't be so disapproving about my going over there. Frankly, there's a part of me that's anxious to see if I can really do this. Charles, what do you think? Do men still find me attractive?
Oh, yes, madam.
You see? This just may solve all our problems.
Unfortunately, Mama, our problems are bigger than you think.
Everybody knows how to do that kick. Help kick.